Alright y'all, in this lesson I'm going to show you how to graph a piecewise function and then find values of a piecewise function. So the first thing, I'm going to graph x plus 6 for x is less than or equal to 4, and then it's going to have 8 minus x for x greater than 4. So we go to y equals, which I've already got. Now the trick is to put each of these equations in parentheses. So I'm going to start out by putting parentheses x plus 6, close parentheses, and then we're going to hit multiply and put the condition, and it's going to be in parentheses also. So you always got to put that multiplication so that it knows that what we're putting in next is going to be its condition. And that's x is less than or equal to 4, so I hit x. To get less than and equal, I hit second math. Go down to less than and equal, which looks like number 6. Hit enter. It brings it on this page, and then I put in my 4, close parenthesis. Now, we're going to put the next equation in parentheses, but to add it, we hit the plus sign. So it's equation, condition, plus the next equation, which is 7 minus x. Let's put that in parentheses. Close those parentheses, and then multiply by its condition. So that'll be times parentheses x greater than 4. So x, hit second math to get the greater than. So let's see, greater than looks like number 3. Hit enter. And then I'm going to put in my 4 and then close parentheses. Now remember, on this one, I just wanted to see the graph so you could see the changes. X plus 6 should be like an uphill line. But then here, since that's a negative x, that should be a downhill line when it hits that 4. So let's hit enter. And there you go. It goes uphill. Now, this little line is not really there because that's going to start right here at the 4. That's just like the calculator jumping from one line to the next. But if you notice at the x value of 4, it starts going downhill with that negative slope. Alright, so the next examples, I want to show you how to find function values pretty quick on this calculator. So I'm going to go back to y equals and clear that equation. Now remember, I'm going to put in equation times its condition plus equation times its condition. So here we go, parentheses, x plus 5, close parentheses, times the condition, which is x second math for that less than and equals, and remember that's down there at number 6. Hit enter. 7, close parentheses around that condition, and then plus next equation in parentheses, 7 minus x, close parentheses, times its condition in parentheses, which is x second math to get that greater than, and I believe that was number 3, and then 7, close parentheses. Now I'm not worried about the graph on that. What I want to do is go find these function values. Now remember, I put all of this into y1. So I'm going to quit that, and I'm going to go into my variables and get that y1 again. So remember, variables, go to y variables, enter for function, hit enter for y1, and then in parentheses we're going to put negative 5, close parentheses, hit enter, and we get 0. Alright, next one we're going to go for 4, so we hit variables, y variables, enter for y1, parentheses, put a 4 in there, enter, and I get 9. So we're still less than 7, so it said, okay, 4 plus 5 was 9, and there's my answer. Now g of 8, which is greater than 7, let's see what we get. Variables, y variables, enter for y1, and in parentheses we put 8, and this time I get a negative 1. So it did 7 minus 8 since I used this equation and got me a negative 1. Alright, and what's nice is you can also do decimals on this pretty quick. So how about g of a 10.5? Right? So I'm going to go variables. 10.5 is greater than 7, so go to y variables, enter. In parentheses, I put 10.5, close parentheses, and enter, and I get a negative 3.5. Alright, so That's why I like doing this method, because you can actually hit them decimals pretty quick doing this, to where if I put them all in my graph and then went to the table, I might not have x values that are decimals, and I'd have to do it another way. Alright, so let's see, I got one more example. So we're going to go back to y equals, clear out that equation. Now I got three parts. Watch how I do this middle part. So the first equation, negative 4x minus 12, close parentheses, times its condition, x, second math, get me a less than this time, which is number 5, negative 8, close parentheses. Then it's going to be plus the next equation in parentheses of 4, times its condition in parentheses. Now notice, I got two parts on this, so watch what I do. I'm going to do negative 8, second math, get that less than or equals down here at number 6, enter, x. Then I'm going to do and. To put and, I'm going to hit second 0, that brings up my catalog, scroll down to and hit enter. Because we got to put each of these conditions in here, okay? And then we're going to put x is less than 4. So x, second math, let's get the less than back down here at number 5. Put in a 4, close parentheses. So this whole thing has to be put in as two separate conditions using the and. And then it's going to be plus my last equation, parentheses, x plus 8, close parentheses, times its condition in parentheses, x, second math, greater than or equals is what, number 4, I believe. And then we got a 4, close parentheses. So I have my whole equation in. I'm going to quit that screen and go down here and find these function values. So everything's in y1 again. So here we go. Variables, y variables, enter for function, enter for y1, and in parentheses will be negative 9. Hit enter, and we get 24. Alright, here we go. Variables, y variables, enter, enter. In parentheses, I'm going to put 2. Hit enter, and we get 4. Because look, 2's in between that negative 8 and 4, so it gave me 4 automatically. Alright, h of 4, so variables, y variables, enter, enter, parentheses, put 4, enter, and I get 12. Because it's 4 is equal to 4, so I use this equation, and 4 plus 8 was 12. And then finally, let's get a 7 in there. Enter, enter, parentheses, 7, close parentheses, enter, and I get 15. Because 7 was greater than 4, so I still use this equation, and 7 plus 8 was 15. Alrighty, now, if you wanted to see the graph of that, I can just hit graph, and there you go. You see that negative slope came down, then it was equal to 4 between them x values, and then at this point it had a positive slope, so it started shooting back up. Alright, y'all, that concludes this lesson. Good luck.